What's poppin', party people? I'm not actually that far off 1,000 subscribers now. For that, I thank you.
What the hell is even that?
And I think it's been awfully rude of me not to share my favourite ever games, considering this is a gaming channel. And because it's not just a gaming channel, but a platinum channel, I'll talk about whether I've got the platinum for these games and what the experience was like. And we're going to get straight into it. I'm only doing 5 games. I could do plenty more, but I'm doing 5. And I'm not doing them in any order because I would have sat there for about 5 hours deciding what the order should be, because the games are ultimately so different, it's impossible to compare them. But let's start with number 5. The day was the 10th of November 2009. I got up nice and early, unlike me, for a school day. My lovely mother agrees for me to get in the car and, before I go to school, drive me to Sainsbury's. It's a British supermarket, if you didn't know, a bit like Walmart. And they've got Modern Warfare 2 for sale on offer. The parents are going to buy it for me. I was buzzed. The hype was real. I was about the prime age now for gaming, in my early teens. And let me tell you, that school day dragged because I couldn't pull a sickie. I was trying, but my parents saw straight through it. But yeah, the hype was real. It was the sequel to the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which I didn't really ever get into.
You're joking.
But yeah, I truly bought into the hype for this game. Was excited, and boy, oh boy, did the hype pay off for me. It was the glory days. You get in from school, all your mates want to hop on, you jump into lobbies, you can be rubbish. I was pretty rubbish. I think my average KD was just under 1. But you loved it. You jumped in, you didn't really care, and you had a good time. This was truly the game that made me addicted to multiplayer. Before this, the only other game that really springs to mind was I got Resistance Fall of Man on the PS3 on release date, which was my first online experience, which was actually amazing. But yeah, this was the one that hooked me. And for I don't know how many years, I didn't touch single player games. I only played online because that was the thing. And ever since, even now, in my early 30s, do I get excited when a Call of Duty releases and I play it for a couple weeks, like the good old days, and then the hype dies down. But no, it didn't for Modern Warfare 2. But we do have the question that we want to know the answer to. Do I have the platinum for Modern Warfare 2? And unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say the answer to that question is no. I actually, even more embarrassingly, and the PlayStation diehards aren't going to like this, this is when I had an Xbox 360.
How dare you!
With my friends, and played it on Xbox 360. So I didn't know about trophies at this time, didn't know they existed, and played this game on Xbox 360. I have looked, and I could actually get the PS3 Platinum for this game. I believe it's still achievable because there's no multiplayer trophies, and the multiplayer is still playable actually, so that wouldn't matter. It's just Spec Ops and campaign. And there's also a campaign remaster trophy list, and obviously there's the Modern Warfare 2 new game. But I don't think so. I think I want to leave that in the past and remember the game for being one of my favourite ever gaming experiences, and not grind through a Spec Ops and a campaign when I didn't really care back then, and I don't really care now. Now for number 2, we're going in a completely different direction, a completely different genre. And it's actually a PC game.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Originally anyway, and it's called Rust. Now you might not have heard of this, but it's one of the best-selling PC games. It's consistently in the top-selling charts. The devs released this years ago when I was in uni, a long time ago, and they constantly update it and add new features every month. A bit of lore about me. I had a YouTube channel on this game which amassed about 15,000 subscribers and a few million hits.
You liar!
But it was just too time consuming to keep on. But this game is so addictive. You don't know anything about it. Online only, open world survival game where you build a base, you raid other bases, other people's bases. You go around sort of radiation areas to get loot. It's just honestly the pinnacle of what I like about gaming and online gaming. Being able to raid people, take all their stuff. It's all just on the line. You can lose everything. Honestly, I don't think any concept will ever resonate with me more, ever. This is the perfect concept of a game for me. I am not a PC player, And I am not very good at this game. Like, my aim is terrible because I'm so used to a controller. But I got 6,000. I'm actually a bit embarrassed by this. 6,000 hours I've played this game for. If you've got a decent PC and you're into online and things like that, I would definitely recommend giving it a go. But just be warned, it's gonna just consume you. If I did have to rank them, this might have to be number one.
You have been promoted.
Just because of the amount of time I've played it, and it is, like I said, the best concept that I can think of for a game, an online game. Now the question, do I have the platinum? I've gone back to back, baby. 2 for 2. Two of my favorite games ever. I haven't got the platinum for. Now we kick on to number 3. And just to give a bit of context as well, as why I haven't been uploading, and you might notice I've got a new microphone. I've moved country. I've moved halfway across the world, so it's taken me a little while to get set up. And I saw somebody comment saying, how am I getting on with my goals for this year? Well, life's taken its toll, but I'm going to do an update video on that soon. But anyway, let's get into number 3. And this is possibly my earliest gaming memory, and that is Crash Bandicoot.
Whoa!
My dad, the sneaky but legendary man that he is, managed to persuade my mother that it was a good idea to buy me, when I was 2 years old, a PlayStation 1 for my 2nd birthday. What a guy. How he did it, how he pulled it off is amazing, because obviously I couldn't even hold it. I could barely hold a controller, so I definitely wasn't going to be playing anything. But I know that he secretly wanted to play Resident Evil. This is really what kickstarted my gaming addiction and what got me into gaming, was my dad getting me that PlayStation 1. And obviously I couldn't play Resident Evil, so Crash Bandicoot. It's just, it is probably the one game I can't remember much. People always talk about these early gaming nostalgia, early gaming memories when they were really young. I struggle to remember these sort of things, but Crash Bandicoot is there slightly. And I remember getting frustrated with it, but I managed in persevering and actually completing it. And now they've obviously done the remakes, which are really good. They've done a really, really good job on the Insane trilogy. And I'm proud to say, I finally can say yes to one of these games. I have got the platinum.
He's done it!
Obviously not on the PS1 version, because that doesn't exist, but the PS4 version, Insane Trilogy. Only for the first game so far, but I have got the platinum. Come on. It wasn't easy as well. You guys know, I don't need to go into it. These games are not bloody easy, super difficult, so it was super rewarding to get, and I'm glad to say that I did do it. And I will be going for 2 and 3, which I don't think are as hard, but still tricky. 4, forget about it. And did I mention Resident Evil? Well, when I did get a little bit older, a certain game called Resident Evil 4 came out. This game, I gave it a go. I hadn't played 1, 2 or 3, but I thought, give 4 a go. And my, oh my, am I glad I did. It's that perfect balance for me. I don't like horror. I was a bit of a wuss when I was younger. Used to get scared easily. Resident Evil 4 is that perfect balance of, yeah, it's still a horror game, still a survival horror game, but it's a lot of action. The village, the castle area, and then you've got the regenerators, which were just insane, and that little midget guy. Don't know what his name was. Am I allowed to say midget? I don't know. But him, whoever he was, the villain, one of the villains, he just freaked me out. He was such a good villain in the game. And yeah, Resident Evil 4 is just action single player game, my favorite ever single player game. Better than Crash Bandicoot. It'd be higher than Crash Bandicoot and the last game on this list, and then obviously the first 2 are both online. Resident Evil 4 is so good, and my god, is the remake good as well. I've played it a lot. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't actually done the platinum on it yet, but I'm working towards it. I'm getting there. In my defense, I have done Resident Evil 8 Village. I have got the platinum on that. That is actually the closest for me that I've come to enjoying a game as much as Resident Evil 4 from the Resident Evil series. I haven't played 2 or 3 remake yet, but Resident Evil Village was very much, you could tell they wanted to get that audience that liked Resident Evil 4 back. Felt very actiony. It had different areas, the mansion, and different places you'd go, and it was just unreal game. So yeah, that was really close to making it in here, but Resident Evil 4 was just for nostalgia and them releasing that remake. If they hadn't released the remake, I think I would put Resident Evil 8 in here. And then we go into the final one. I could have gone on for ages and picked loads of games, but last but not least, we're going into my favorite genre of game, and that's Souls-likes or Soulsborne games. Can you guess which one it is? It's Bloodborne. So you can probably tell from the fact that my video is no longer syncing up with this voice, I only went and pressed the mute button on my microphone for the rest of the video.
You stupid.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a little post commentary now. You're not going to see my beautiful face anymore. I know that's why you come for the videos, but hopefully you'll stick it out anyway. And we were talking about Bloodborne. This was actually my first true Souls-like experience, Soulsborne experience. I did have Demon Souls on the PS3, but I was too young, honestly. I don't think I got past the Phalanx, to be honest with you. I just kept dying and didn't really get what was going on. So Bloodborne came around and I wanted to give it another go. And boy, oh boy, am I glad I did. It's tricky. Of course it's tricky, but that's what makes it so beautiful. Beating Father Gascoigne, who took me forever on the first time. I just wasn't used to the aggression and not being really able to block. Just felt amazing. It got me hooked on the game. It made me want to go for the platinum. And I'm going to cut a long story short here and drop this in at the start of me talking about this game. I have got the platinum and I've done the DLC for Bloodborne. I really think the trophies really add something for Souls-like games, because you experience things you might not have done if it wasn't for the trophy list. Killing secret bosses, getting secret endings, and yeah, all around just experiencing the game in its true fullest form. There's no way in hell I would have done the Chalice dungeons on Bloodborne if I didn't care about trophies. Now, I wouldn't have faced what I found to be the hardest boss, even harder than Orphan of Kos in the DLC, was the amygdala in the last Chalice dungeon. Honestly, it took me so long to beat the amygdala. It was the arena's fault, really. I just couldn't really dodge out the way. But when I did do it, man, it felt great. And what a great game. It's fast-paced. I love the scenery, the gothic scenery. I much prefer it to the slower-paced sort of Dark Souls games, and I like a more linear approach. So while I've got the platinum for Elden Ring, I much prefer Bloodborne. I would beg for a Bloodborne 2 over Elden Ring 2 or any other Elden Ring game. I would scrap Elden Ring from history for a Bloodborne 2 because it really, again, fits with my style of gaming. So that's how and why it got into my top 5 list and is what sparked me into getting into all Souls-likes. Now I would have tried games like Lies of P, which is absolutely amazing and probably the closest thing to a Bloodborne 2 we might ever get. Things like First Berserker Kazan, all these amazing games that people are making because of the popularity of From Software games. So that's my list. That's my top 5. It was tricky. I made a shortlist originally and there was about 20 games. Now, when I recorded this first time, I was showing off my notepad, which I wrote them in. Can't do that now. So I'm just going to rattle them off and let you know honourable mentions so you can, again, get a sense of the sort of games that I like playing. One that really nearly made it, Mafia 2. Unpopular opinion, I think I prefer the Mafia games to GTA games, and Mafia 2 is the pinnacle of a Mafia game. I really need to play Old Country, I just haven't got round to it yet. Burnout Paradise, I think, was my first ever platinum, and probably my favourite racing game, one of my favourite racing games, and if it's not, it will be this one, which is Need for Speed Underground 2. That needs a remake badly, such a good game. Little Big Planet gets an honourable mention. This game, I did actually manage to persuade my parents that I was ill on the day it released. I got so hyped about it. I was quite young, and they sold this dream that you could basically create your own game within a game. And I was hooked. When it came out, it lived up to the hype. My dad actually bought the game for me on his lunch break and brung it home for me. So he knew what I was doing, but he could tell I was excited. So yeah, what a great game. It's a shame. I should have done a top 10 really. A few more. Far Cry 3. I'm not really a big Far Cry fan now, but Far Cry 3 was brilliant. Last of Us, just again, lovely single player game. Jedi Fallen Order. I've mentioned that in a recent video. I'm really not a massive Star Wars fan, and that just was an amazing game. And then a few older games, Crash Bash on the PS1. I used to play this to death with my cousin, completing it and trying to get, I think the max percentage is like 206% that we were trying to get, but it's really difficult. I just have so many good memories from it. It's probably not that an amazing game, but I would love a remake. And then finally, 2 PS3 release date titles. I got the PS3 at midnight on release date, and they were MotorStorm and Resistance Fall of Man. Really got me into online gaming, and honestly, I think the PS3 is my favourite ever launch title console release, just because of those 2 games. So they get an honourable mention as well. So that's that. Loads of games rattled off. You probably get a sense now for the sort of games, the genres that I like, because there's no RPGs or JRPGs or anything like that in my list, because they're not typically the games I play. But yeah, let me know what your favorite games are ever. Give me a few reasons for it, and maybe I'll try some of them out and maybe even go for the platinum on them.